Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods and happy Easter weekend. So everybody is up front here with the donkeys, Carl and Billy. We have Tara over there. Tiana is in with the donkeys. We've got them all harnessed up. Haltered up. So we have Chinook here and Esme back there. So they are going to their new home this morning. They're being picked up to go to a local, a new homestead that has wanted some donkeys. So that's where they're going. And we have Billy.
Something just fell. Yeah, with the board.
Oh, Billy's banging the building. Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy. What are you doing, bud? So one of our stud goats, and the other one is Carl. Carl. So this is the building. It used to be the chicken coop years and years ago, and then we pushed it back here after we put the chickens in the building, and then it was the goat house, and then it kind of turned into the donkey house, and there is lots and lots of poop in there over the winter. So we're gonna have to clear that out. It is a wood base, so we're gonna have to clear that out, make sure there's no rotten boards. And if there are, we'll have to replace those. Right, boys?
Ooh, that was tight.
Right? It was not a expected thing.
Mark, you want to help? Billy's right behind you.
Yeah. You got it? Yeah, they're pretty, it's a pretty long gate. Oh! Yeah, just watch that. It'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, I've only had one cup of coffee.
Now you don't need any more coffee.
Yeah, I want girl. We're not separating you two. Staying together forever.
Yeah, Chinook doesn't want to be far away. Or, yeah, from Esme.
Come on, girl. Oh, you a chunky monkey.
Yes, and they've lost weight.
Oh, really? Wow.
They were like, they had, what'd she call it? Do you want the harness that halters on?
Leave the halters on, but you take the lead ropes off.
Okay. She's like,
I'm still attached to you, right?
oh, your girl's still there. Right?
Ow.
They're so cute. They're so cute.
Oh, it looks like they found it.
Yeah.
Well, the sun's out now, so that's a good turn, although it's supposed to be right around the 0 degree, the freezing point, for the next few days, and that wind is really chills you out. Now, the alpaca are out. Hi, Paula. And we have Shanzy and Marley, so they're out in this area. It's finally dried. We have the pump over there that we have to now just put away because this is the low area. And over just in front of Paula, well, further back, you can see there's a darker area, and that is a low spot. So we may take this opportunity of being closed due to the pandemic to put some soil down in these low-lying areas and kind of regrade this area. So they are enjoying the grass, what little there is there. Yesterday, Dreamer and Ollie went back to their home. So Dreamer and Ollie were a little bit different of a circumstance. A lot of the animals that we get in are surrendered to us. Ollie and Dreamer were not. So they were over on another farm, and they weren't getting socialized as much as the owners wanted them to. So what they did is they figured, well, we have people coming out here all the time, visiting. It would be a great experience for them to get more hands-on in the petting farm aspect of our farm. But due to the pandemic, we're closed. We don't have anybody coming out. That was one reason. The other reason was little Dreamer was a little bully, and she was starting to push some of the other animals around. Now Roxy, which was the pregnant mare that left last week, in that area that was all water, Dreamer chased her out of the building, and then chased her across the water and just kept on bullying her. So Dreamer wasn't really getting along. She's used to being with larger animals that were a little more set in their ways and not as much of a pushover. But animals are funny that way. If they can see an opportunity where they can be alpha at the top of the chain, they'll take that opportunity. So with Easter weekend upon us, I thought I'd make a little game out of this video as well. I have these little Easter eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide these little Easter eggs around the farm and see if you can count how many there are. And at the end of the video, I'll give you the answer as to how many I've hidden and see if you've found all of them. So for almost 2 decades now, we have had an Easter event, a family fun day Easter event, where we used to host it at the Enola Community Club just down the highway. We then moved it to our farm. The weather wasn't too bad. Sometimes we get snow. It would have been Sunday, which would be tomorrow when I'm posting this video, but it's awfully windy and cold. Last year was actually beautiful temperature, and we had close to 300 people that came out. We go and we get a bunch of chocolate, and we do a bunch of different activities outside, and we have quite a large turnout, and it kind of kicks off the spring season. But unfortunately, due to circumstances, we're not doing that this year, which is unfortunate. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to put it off until July, maybe Easter in July or something to that effect. But we'll try to do something later on in the summer if things turn around and get better. Okay, so starting off at the back. Hi, Sheldon. So these guys will be going outside once that area where the alpaca are, once it dries up and once it warms up. So maybe another week. Now, it's been funny because Moira, which is over here, she has been often seen on the live stream scratching herself on that. It's a brush. It's basically a push broom brush, and it's mounted on the wall. Now, I don't know how much she's getting at itching or scratching herself because of all that wool on there, but she seems to love the scratch post. So yes, guys, another week I think you should be outside. You're nice and toasty in here. So the kid goats. So this is some exciting news. So we have 6 kid goats in total. Here they all are. They love these little containers. These are rubberized containers. And we place them in here underneath and some of them upside down to play on and jump around on. I'm actually going to shut out these heat lamps right now because you can't see their colors. It's much better if you can see their colors. So if I can get this right, let's see here. So this one here is Coco's, and it's kind of, it looks black, but it's just slightly brownish. And then the one that everybody thinks that looks like Sheldon is this little one here. Yeah. So this one is a little girl, and this one is a little boy. Hey, bud? Yeah. So they were, when they were born, they were a little small. I was a little concerned with this little girl here, but she has, she's strengthened up and she's looking really good. And then Blackie had her too. So this one that has the little patch on the top of the head, just like Mom does. And then we have the other one, which is kind of a multicolored, some brown, some white, some black. And this one here is a girl. And the little black one is a boy. Hi. If I just sit down, you guys are going to crawl all over me, aren't you? Yes, you guys love climbing. And then we have Petunias too. Now, if I get this correctly, you're the boy, I think. Boy, girl. Let's see here. So these ones were the ones that were, yeah, that's the little, this is the little girl. And then this one's the little boy. So we were trying to figure out the difference. You can see in the color, this one's more of a gray, and this one's more of a beige, like Mom. Well, Mom's kind of turned a little bit more white, Petunia. And then I was looking at other markings. So they both have, on the top of their head, a little bit of white. But this one here has a little black right between the eyes, kind of right at the bottom of that patch. Hi! You guys are more interested in the tripod over there, just like the male goats outside, aren't you? Yes. And they'll start to chew and gnaw on little things. The one over there is gnawing on the tripod. Hi! Oh, how are you? Little goat kisses. Hey? Hi! So this is one of the reasons why goat yoga is so so popular. It's just getting down with the animals. So in lying down and letting them jump on you, they love jumping on things. So they're starting to jump on my legs. Here, why don't we do this? I'll just lie down. Hi, Coco. Come here, kids. Come here. Hi, Petunia. Don't mind me. Come on up. Come here. Come see Uncle Mark. There you go. Yeah. What do we got? 4? Hi. Hi. What are you doing? Oh, goat kisses. Oh, yeah. Okay, king of the castle. Who's king of the castle? Oh, you gonna jump? You gonna jump? Oh, a new toy? What do you think? Hey, maybe we should get a mannequin and put it in here. Yes, you're a big kisser, aren't you? Oh, get up there. Oh, oh, you jump on my head? What are you doing? Yes. Do I lie here all day? Hey, you guys want me to lie here all day? Yeah? Oh boy. Oh, somebody calling for Mom? Where is your mom anyway? Oh, your mom's over here. Do you know who your mom is? Hey? You? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. What? Did you sneeze? Okay. Oh! Oh, those are the guineas. Maybe I'd just go for a nap in here with you guys, hey? Probably wouldn't sleep too good because I'd have little kid goats on my head. Hey? But it is relaxing, that's for sure. Yeah. So they really love these bowls, as I mentioned earlier. We've got 2 of them. This one's kind of flipped over. We'll have to flip that back over. And what we've done is we've put some fireplace ashes in the base of it, and we've kind of treated this area here just to make sure that there's no little bugs or anything, because they are all lying down on the in the hay and straw here, and they're inside. So we want to make sure that they don't get any lice, and we've been checking them. Usually, if you check back behind the ear area, all around in the neck area where it's nice and warm in there. So you pull back the fur and you look at the skin, and you shouldn't see any little bugs or anything in there. If you do, you want to treat it. Ashes work really well. Diatomaceous earth is another thing that works well. We try to stick with all natural solutions for that. And then you just want to follow up, ash them, make sure their area is ashed, and maybe do them every few days and check them as well. Yeah, they'll be nice and healthy, right? Yes. All right, kids. We're going to go see everybody else. Can't just hang out in here all day, can I? Okay, and in here are the guineas. So we've got the guineas all in here, which we'll be letting out, it's warming up, so we'll get them outside as well. And we've also got some hens that are up here. And so, how do you tell the difference between a hen and a rooster? I guess is a good question. Now, you can usually tell because, they're cones, the roosters are more alert. And if you look on their feet here, the roosters on the inside will have a spur that comes out. So that's a sure way to tell whether you have a rooster in your hen house. When they're smaller, they're a little bit more difficult to find. Actually, here is a rooster right here. Actually, there is, yeah. So you can see the spur on his foot that kind of sticks out the back. So there's a rooster. I believe he's the only rooster that's in here. With guineas, good luck with that. I have no sure way other than looking at their behavior. With chickens and roosters and geese, usually the hens will be going around just kind of pecking at the ground, and the males will be more alert and looking for predators or looking for rivals. So that's kind of a way to tell there. So with these guys, it's not so much the looks of them, and they can be a little bit more difficult to figure out who is male and who is female. Fernando, you want to go outside? You can probably go outside if you want. You're just flirting with me, aren't you? Come on, let's go outside. Okay, well, we'll check out this last area here. So this is some of the other hens that we have in here. So we've got some Colombian rocks, and I believe those brown ones are Isa brown, if I recall correctly. And then we have our two peafowl here, which were supposed to be going home, I believe, this weekend to their new home, but I think that's been put off a little bit, so we'll hang on to them a little bit more. And then we have some pigeons, a few pigeons that are hanging out in here as well. Most of them are all outside, but these guys decided they wanted to stay in for the winter. So one other thing that I wanted to mention is when I discussed earlier about animals trying to be alpha and trying to one-up on weaker animals, Atlas over there is on a timeout. He's got the old guinea cage, and we have tucked him in there because when the kids, just after the kids were born, what had happened was he was roaming around in this area here, and he would start pecking at the kids' ears. So we saw that on the camera, and we immediately had to come out, and Atlas is now in his time out. Well, let's go outside. Oh, what do we have here, you guys? Yeah. You guys want some food, eh? You want some treats. You get me every time I come through here. Yeah. No, you got a little bit of time now. No treats right now, guys. So that brings me to another point. So we have lost one of our animals just a few days ago. So we have Turbo here. We have Tinker over there. And we have Hannibal. Lambert. So we lost Lambert just 2 nights ago. Now Lambert was older and he had a lot of issues when he was younger. So when he first came into us about 6 years ago it was, there was a lady that had 2 sheep and lambs, and she was bottle feeding them. But what she was doing is she was bottle feeding them regular cow's milk, stuff that you would buy at the grocery store. And she had some wrong feed that she was supplementing them with as well. So Lambert's brother had passed away, and at that point she felt that she was overwhelmed and thought, okay, no, she doesn't want this one to die either. So she contacted us and we took little Lambert in. So we fed him goat's milk. So it's a powdered goat's milk that we use. And it's great for all animals. It's because of the proteins and the fats and everything that's in it. It is more or higher in those values than all the other milk. So goat's milk is kind of the go-to milk. And we have it in a powder form that you just mix with water, just like you would like a baby formula. And that's what we use there. So we got him going and we brought him back up to where he needs to be. And things went well over the years. But if you've been watching the videos recently, come fall time, he started to develop this burp where he couldn't get the gas out. So that can be caused by having too much grains that can swell in their stomach. Because they have a chambered stomach, it can cause them problems regurgitating food back up again. So a lot of our animals here don't really get a whole lot of grains. The grains are mostly for the chickens and the geese and the birds. We do give them some grains from time to time, but we try to tend to stay away from those because it can cause health issues. So what we had done is we'd given Lambert baking soda, which is something that you can take if you've got gas as well. And what that does is it calms down the stomach and allows him to feel more comfortable, less bloat. So he passed away in his sleep. It's always sad when this happens, but he has gone to he's been 6 years where he may not have even lived that long in the past if he had have gone through the route that say his brother did. So he had a good life. He was a wonderful sheep, and he may put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces. And speaking of another good sheep, here is Bronwyn. Bronwyn, how you doing, girl? How's the horns doing? Doing good? I see Daisy has her little ponytail. So Tara will. She doesn't. We don't want to give her a trim. She loves this little ponytail because she says it looks like those little trolls. It's cute. We don't want to trim it because come summertime, come fly season, usually around August time, get a lot of flies in around the eyes. So that is when it's very beneficial to have this hair down, kind of cascading over the eyes, because the flies don't get in there and don't bother them nearly as much. I think she just likes how cute she looks. Okay, so who do we have? So it looks like Petey has finally given up. He's just gone back to bed. Hey, Petey. Yeah, so he's got his nest. You can see his little nest in here. Now, Hannibal, which that's not Hannibal, that's Tinker. Tinker has the dots on her face. Hannibal is right here. He's probably twice the age of what Lambert was. He's about 12 years old. And he's had a pretty good life himself. And when we noticed that there was a sheep down, we thought it was Hannibal because we were kind of waiting for something. We've been waiting ever since Hannibal came in. We were really concerned that that he wasn't going to make it, a week or a month. But we've had him now here, I think probably about a year and a half. If I'm not mistaken, and he's actually better than when he came in, so that's wonderful. Turbo and Tinker are a little bit younger; they're about 5 years old. So they came in the year after Lambert came in, which was the same year that our little Lucy was born. Piper, you're not going to bed? You're gonna forage? Are you gonna forage? They love going back to the new hay pile, or straw pile, I guess it's more so. Hay straw, which is back there. And they've been just rooting through all of it and just kind of relaxing in there. Hi, Levi. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Why do you have... Oh, is that... Looks like... Yeah, it looks like bird poop. Oh, I got a couple of them on here. Oh, are the pigeons or roosters roosting on your back, buddy, and just pooping there? You're gonna need a brushing to get rid of that. You look at this. There's that winter fluff, right? Yeah, we're gonna have to. Maybe next week, once the chill kind of gets out of the air, I want to make sure it's warm enough, and then we'll give them a good brushing and get that coat out. Daisy's actually got quite a bit. She is quite the shedder, and that's a trait of ponies. So ponies usually will have a thicker coat on them, and horses tends to be not quite as thick. So. He is a miniature horse, whereas Daisy is a pony. And you can see how his coat isn't quite as thick as Daisy's, although there still is some fur coming out. So the ducks and the geese are out enjoying themselves. The water's gone down here, so that's good. Everything's getting sucked in. It's still a little sloppy over there, but that will dry out. The ducks are hanging out by the water. And the Muscovies don't do a whole lot with water. You can see them here just kind of hanging out, and they're just over there. Those are all Muscovies. And this is about as much as Muscovies do. They kind of just hang out by the side of the water, chat. This is a female closest to us, and then the male on the other side. And here is a new duck that came in. I can't think of the name. I'll put the name on the bottom of the screen there. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. So he came in last week, and we figure he's got some issues with his wings. Almost looks like pinwing, which is kind of where the knuckle goes back, but they kind of stick out. They don't tuck right in like you would see normally, like this rowan here. So rowans, harlequins, they're all in here, some crosses, and this is what they do. They just hang out in the water all the time. They love the water. They love bathing. Which one of these don't belong? Actually, no, there's a few different. So we have two Czech geese. Why am I still zoomed in here? We have two Czech geese, 1 and 2. And then we have one Pekin duck, which is here. And then we have a Chinese goose here. You can tell the Chinese goose by the bump on the nose. And there should be 3 more of them. There they are over on the other side of the pond. So they're out, going out for a stroll, checking things out, looking for little bugs and little grubs and things of that nature. And we have another Pekin duck over here. So the pond, you can see this is the smaller pond, the raised pond, and there's a pipe here. The pump is inside, but the pump sits in the pond down there. It then pumps up through this hose, which is stuck through this spool here and comes out that little hole, shoots out in this area, and then runs down the waterfall. Comes down this little rock waterfall here, and overflows into the pond there. We have a nice lighthouse that I built a few years ago, and that has a light that does come on at night. It doesn't revolve or flash or anything. I found that, or I thought that was going to be a little bit too annoying if you're in the house and you have this flashing light. Woo, there goes that wind. Speaking of wind, here is the windmill. So this windmill doesn't generate power, but generates air. It has a compressor in the top of it there, which it's going to spin. So right there, that canister on the top is a compressor. You can hear it. And then there's a hose. This goes down into the pond, and there's an aerator stone. And then here is the other end here. And that's pumping. We disconnected in the wintertime, have this this quick connect hose that we just couple onto it, because what will happen is when the ice freezes, the water that's in there will also freeze, and you can run the risk of blowing out the gasket in there. Hi, Meadow. How you doing, little one? Hey, are you happy it's spring? Yeah, I saw you and Dad Levi playing quite a bit. Now we've got a couple of these Christmas trees here. I can see there's some, this isn't decorations, this is actually wool from sheep. Now this is a natural dewormer because it has, the pine needles are very acidic. They work as a natural dewormer. Now you have to be careful with pregnant does, which they're inside, so we've kind of thrown out 2 of them here for the rest of them, because it can create a miscarriage for pregnant does. So you want to give them, you can still give them some, but just in moderation. Hey bud, what are you doing? Hi, you come over to see us? Yeah, they love to talk. I see Piper has has joined her mate Petey, and they're now nestled in. And the sheep are in here besides Hanny. You're just hanging out in here too, aren't you, girl? Yeah, just kind of a lazy day. Hey, Turbo, is it a lazy day, buddy? Yeah, you guys are just all relaxing. All right, well, maybe it's time for me to go in and have a nice hot beverage, warm up. See you later. Well, that is it for yet another video. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. I hope you found all the eggs. So it looks like there were 8 eggs that were scattered out there. 9 if you count the one that I had at the beginning of the video. So I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found the eggs. If you didn't, you can always go back and watch and find out where I hid them. And that is it for this week. So I hope you really enjoyed it. If you have any questions about any of our animals or how we do things here on the farm, please leave it down below in the comments. If you haven't watched the live stream, you can always go back to our channel on YouTube, our main channel, and you should see it there. We're going to leave it up probably for another week, I would think. We may just stick 2 days, just running it through the day. We're not quite sure, but with everybody being at home, staying safe, it's just something good to have on and to see little things, especially like that little spot where I had all the kids climbing all over me. Maybe I'll have to go out. That was fairly relaxing. So until next video, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you then. Take care, and bye-bye.